Yeah. There we go. Yeah. There
I
you
don't
go.
know. Trying to point it live, but that probably not working out anyway.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello,
Hope everybody's,
people.
if you're watching this, I hope you're well.
And if you're not watching it, well, how are we talking to you then? It's I'm confused about how all that works.
That's right. Well, we all are.
It's science and stuff. It would take a scientist to explain it all. All right.
I'm looking at Clinton, your Warp Core PJs. I think I'm the keep wearing your pajamas guy. I really need some of those. But to be fair, I am wearing Deep Space Nine pajamas right now.
Okay, so
We'll take your word for
it. Close enough. Close enough.
That's awesome. All right.
Problem with the Deep Space Nine pajamas is every once in a while they just disappear into a wormhole. It's just not.
Well, so does half the things you put in the dryer.
Well, that's true.
Wait, there's another joke in there, but I'm gonna let it.
Yeah, let's just let that one pass, shall we?
Half my socks are in the Gamma Quadrant.
Yeah.
Half yours.
All right. That seems good there. So how many? We got 77 stories this week. Additional stories. So I assigned you a story there, Joe. You've got two things, like half of a story and then a full story. But they're in there. Okay, we're going to skip Vulcan this week because we got an away mission to talk about. All right, so I'll leave that as nothing this week. When I say 77,
Vulcan.
Why did it have to be Vulcan? All right, boom. Okay, I'm just about ready.
All right.
So you're manning the controls this week, Craig, right?
Yep. I'm ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
You want to give me a count in?
Yep. Let me go ahead and start recording. And 3, 2.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 195 for Friday, January 30th, 2026. Coming up in this episode, class is still in session, so you are matriculating. Ooh, my goodness. The Shad is back in the center seat with snacks. Have the Scouts grown a beard? We'll talk about all that and more coming up now on The Topic is Trek. Debate and switch. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it. Sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello. Welcome, everyone, to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. I am Clinton, one of your co-hosts, and in order to be a co-host, I have to have other hosts with me. We've got a little something different going on this week. But first of all, beaming in to join us from parts unknown with the hip new catchphrase that everyone in the Alpha Quadrant will be talking about throughout the entire school year is Mr. Craig Stepp. Ooh,
Sorry.
He beamed in weirdly.
That was our ferry transporter. So, boldly going. Eventually.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like we kind of use something like that on our show. So
I had a birthday last week, so I'm feeling a little slower than normal.
Well, that's why you had to beam in really quickly this time. I take it to kind of get your pep up there. Yes, like that.
There you
Either
go.
that or I feel like maybe you're cleaning your bathroom bowl or something. I'm not sure what's going on there.
That's right. That's right.
But this week, Mr. Chuck Tomasi is off on an away mission of his own. He's playing the ukulele someplace. So we asked someone else. Yes.
I think, did he mute himself?
No.
Did Chuck mute himself? Because he's not here, I'm assuming he did. But we have joining us instead, beaming in, is Mr. Crazy Joe Fiore.
Damn it, Craig. Other people have birthdays. Why are we treating yours like a funeral? This isn't about age, and you know it. It's about you flying a goddamn computer console when you want to be out there hopping galaxies.
Don't mince words, Joe. Say how you really feel.
I got a catchphrase all the kids will be saying.
Sure, go for it.
I won't eat anything that didn't die in a fair fight.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Even if it's from the Replicator, which is kind of bizarre, but
Actually, that's a very Klingon thing to say.
it is. It is indeed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for guest hosting with us this week, Joe. We appreciate having you here. We're going to be talking about episodes 3 and 4 of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. So be sure you've seen those episodes because there will be spoilers. Matter of fact, we're obliged to run the alert. Do you have that up, Craig? Because we're
Oh no, do it.
you can
I
do
thought
it.
I did.
You can do it live if you don't have it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. There you go.
Well, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen the episodes, please pause and come back again after you have watched them. But we've got a lot to cover this week, so we're going to jump right into things with our main mission, part 1, and you'll have to excuse those of you who are watching this live. I usually have slides, and I do have slides this week. Unfortunately, the font or the typeface did not come over with the slides, so words are missing.
No,
So
this is the Star Trek 60th anniversary font.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, Craig, could you do the honors for giving some of the background on main mission part 1?
Yeah. So this is Starfleet Academy, season 1, episode 3. Oh, wait. Appropriate sound effect.
There you go.
Yeah. Season 1, episode 3, Vitus Reflux. And it's written by Alex Taub and Kylie Rosetter, directed by Douglas Aronofsky. Aronofsky, whatever.
Arnie Yakoski. I think
There you
it's
go. Arnie and Koski. There you go. And while our cadets compete to join an elite team at the academy, a battle of escalating pranks breaks out between Starfleet Academy and a rival school. Tensions rise fast, threatening their newly emerging bonds and a blossoming romance.
Oh, romance.
Yeah.
All right. So, how many of us thought when this episode started, oh, it's going to be those wacky kids with hijinks?
Yeah, I know. You know what? What was it? Didn't they do this on the Brady Bunch?
Yeah.
You know, where they had
somebody break their
the
nose?
goat?
No.
No, with the goat. Didn't they have a mascot that they were that they kidnapped?
Probably. I mean, it's a fairly common staple of high school or college things to have these kind of things. Although we got a combination here, right? We got a combination of high school and college hijinks and Ocean's 11 at a certain point.
Yeah.
In this episode.
Hey,
And-
I was right. Hey, by the way, I was right. It was season 5, episode 6. The goat mascot is named Raquel, and Greg Brady steals the goat from the rival Coolidge High in retaliation for them stealing their bear cub mascot.
There was also a Family Ties where they stole the Crawford kangaroo, the rival school's mascot. They captured the Crawford kangaroo.
Remember that episode in All in the Family when
The topic is sitcoms. But we get to see more of the War College this week. Well, we got to see more of the War College this week, but we kind of saw the not so nice side of the War College, I would say. I mean, some of the cadets over there are kind of jerks. I mean,
A
I
little
don't know.
bit. Yep.
Especially even the Vulcan is a bit of a jerk, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually,
we've
I
seen
thought-
that before.
Yeah, it seemed like he was almost laughing at some of the, reacting to some of the stuff that was going on.
He reminded me of the Vulcans that challenged Cisco to a baseball game. They were jerky Vulcans too.
Yes,
They were, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, everybody except for the mysterious Kyle, who I still don't have a handle on what's going on with what's going on with Kyle. He seems to be like living in his own world. But yeah, the rest of them now, understandably, they're more of a military school, and I think that the way that they were acting seemed pretty appropriate to, you have to always be, trying to be at your best, be on guard, do that type of thing. So I thought it was appropriate that they were acting that way. Whether it was appropriate, exactly what they were doing, I don't know. But I felt like, yeah, okay, that kind of makes sense that that's what they're doing.
Right.
But we get a new game. Now we don't get a chance to bask in the past glory of other games that we've had, because even though there's plenty to choose from, we get Calica this time around. That's the main focus of this one. And Calica doesn't seem like much more than capture the flag, really. And what was your opinion about the setup of the game of Calica?
It looked like they were. I know it's in the school campus, but it looks like it's on a mall. A mall. Yeah,
it kind of is a mall on the campus.
I thought the mascots were kind of interesting to see. One was the Mugatu.
Yeah, I didn't think that the Mugatu was really that well known, across the quadrant. But
yeah,
apparently so.
Yeah. Well, after 900 years.
The funny thing is, the mascot costume for the Mugatu was very close to the actual Mugatu from the.
Yeah, it might have been actually a little bit better than the one that was in the episode.
I was thinking somebody found it and dusted it off. Hey, we got something here.
Yeah, I think the one that Orem did, I think they just took the costume off and he was holding it in his hand. Yeah, this is replicated this costume. Yeah. It's exactly like the other one. Yeah, so I was indeed concerned about all these hijinks going on, and I was also concerned about what is the deal with Ake. She's acting so weird throughout this entire episode. When you watch it the second time, you understand exactly what she's doing, but the first time it's just like she's just like making these weird gestures and making them try to work with plants, and
oh yeah,
how is that going to solve anything? And they don't understand, and she's like, you got to do the thing with the thing, and
she was trying not to get involved, but was getting involved. I don't do this thing, kind of thing, motioning and getting involved without getting involved.
And we found out because she had the conversation with the chancellor of the War College, Kelrek, and she realized that he was aiding his students in the hijinks, and she didn't want to go that route, and she was trying to say to him, they've got to solve this stuff on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And he really didn't feel that way. He felt, well, we got an advantage, we're going to take it, and your students have just got. Matter of fact, you didn't get the feeling that he absolutely hated the academy, but he didn't love it either. He didn't love the fact that, probably some of the resources were being diverted to it from the War College, and
Mm.
and you get the feeling he may be wondering, okay, if this succeeds, what does that mean for the future of the War College? Is it going to be slowly put out to pasture? And I wouldn't think that would be the case. You might have to fold in some of the stuff that they do. So I think he's being unnecessarily aggressive towards
Yeah.
them in a kind of roundabout way, drinking tea.
Right.
He just seems like, yeah, I'd rather you not be here, but I'm putting up with you as
Right.
it would.
Yeah. I think he was part. I think he was obviously playing the enabler when it came to the pranks.
So he was not being a team player,
Hmm.
but we had someone else who was not being a team player either, and that was Darum. Darum, who used information that Genesis gave him in confidence, talking about her family, used it against
Mhm.
her to become captain of the Calica team. And
Oh,
it
right.
was
Yeah.
it's kind of a low blow. So he was not being a team player. And then we found out when he tried to lead a team, he's not a team player either.
Right.
What his first move was to, okay, just me. Everybody just cover me.
Yeah.
That was his great plan.
Yeah. He kept getting kicked out, or disqualified every time. He said, "All right, keep an eye on me." Which actually, one aspect you were talking about the setup of the game, I thought was interesting, was the use of phasers, but their use was to basically transport them off the game grid.
Yes, and I have a question about that. Do either of you have thoughts on, okay, we established how the Calica phasers worked, that, and Thock says only one thing that they do. They only do one thing, which is transport. How did Genesis use them to set off the replicators to make the smoke screen?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, you would think they would just disappear, they would transport.
Right. So the only thing I can think of is, and it would be
Cheating.
hard to do, would be if you were aiming at a part, if you remove that part, that it would have a hissy fit.
He took the safety off.
Yeah, something like that. Took something away from it that would cause it to malfunction. That's the only thing I can think of.
Or she smuggled in another phaser.
Well, that would be a thing.
Yeah, because I remember thinking the same thing. I had forgotten about it until you just mentioned it, and I was thinking, are they cheating? Because I didn't think those weapons were supposed to do anything other than transport.
Right. Yeah, and we found out that they were keeping track of stuff, because when Darum laid into the Vulcan, he was out for the rest of the round. So that
Mhm.
I thought it was weird that you had the digital dean of students participating in this illegal. Now, granted, it's just a voice, but still, you would think that isn't there protocol that would kind of prevent the digital dean of students from giving the play-by-play of the game?
I was
illegal.
questioning that too. Like if that was involved, how was nobody notified? Well, maybe somebody was, because eventually the doctor shows up. Maybe that's what alerted him. But yeah, I was definitely thinking the same thing.
Well, it's Thock that and Reno that show up.
Oh, it wasn't. No. Oh no, the doctor wasn't in that episode, was he?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. So the only thing I think of is you just program in, there is a Calica game going on in the atrium, and okay, the digital dean of students just assumes that this is a sanctioned game and just proceeds to announce the game. Because that's the only way I would think that would happen. But after Durham has this horrendous. They're down 3-0. It's
Mhm.
best of 4. They're down 3-0, and he's out halfway through, and then Genesis steps up, and she actually has a plan that has some thought in it,
Yeah.
and actually gets them a point. And Durham realizes that I'm not cutting it. I'm just not cutting it here.
Yeah.
And I think the Vulcan saying to him, "Oh, well, they came up with a good strategy, leaving you out of it."
That's our strategy.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
So he was having a rough time in this episode because he had been sending these messages to his parents, these basically daily diaries
Oh
of,
yeah.
of what he was doing, and never heard back from them. And it was Jet who finally ended up having a talk with him when he says, "Oh, there's something wrong with my pad. It's not receiving messages." And you can see it's all outgoing to his parents.
That's right. Yeah. Which is,
And
yeah.
yeah. So she starts talking to him about, well, any message you really have to go out and seek to get is probably not worth your time to read. And, you talk about family and the people that are there for you,
Mhm.
no matter what, maybe like one of your fellow students who goes by the name of Genesis. Okay. Yeah. I get what good, good. I'm glad you finally got the point of what we're talking about here. So he had some growth, and he realized that in his final entry to his parents that, you can lead and you can be led in a place like this. And it's okay because no one is put down for the fact that it's all one big family. And maybe that's what friends and family actually are about. So he's seeing his parents in the way he was brought up in a whole new light. I mean, revealing to Genesis and everyone else in the turbo lift about his playing the instrument and missing a note, and his parents left. But I think a bigger point of growth for him was the fact that he said children in the galaxy were starving, and I was playing a musical instrument. It's just like he was leading an insulated life,
Yeah.
just this totally separate thing, and now he's beginning to see that it wasn't good. It wasn't the way things should have been.
Well, he's learning about himself and
Yeah.
getting a little bit different perspective for sure.
Learning and growing.
Knowledge is power.
That's right.
Oh, that should have been my catchphrase. Oh,
See? Well, the more you know, that's what I got to say.
yeah.
And it was nice for Ake to explain to Caleb, who was also becoming part of a team reluctantly at first, that what did she say? I wrote this one down because she says, the War College teaches its cadets to fight battles. I'm teaching you how to end wars, to learn the patience for a true strategy and the empathy to understand your opponents so you can disarm them. That's what Starfleet needs to be again, and leading through fear alone makes that impossible. So she was trying to teach them a lesson through all of this, which was nice.
Yep.
But we're going to get to ratings in a second here, but and I'll have some thoughts about that. But any other thoughts about the episode?
We've seen, obviously, this is the 3rd episode, so we've seen this before. But my wife and I have been talking about this. We love Aki, how she sits. Like, she just comes in and she lounges and she puts her feet up. And I've seen criticism about that. I've seen people saying that's not professional. And I love it because it tells us so much about this character. This is a character, like when she goes into the Chancellor of the War College's home and plops down on his couch.
Flops down, just like
right.
Yeah.
It just says so much about her. She's
From the back of the
400
couch
years old.
too. Yeah.
She's seen it all.
Mhm.
She's seen it all, and she's basically just done with She's not putting on any airs. She's just, I love that about her. I think it just says so much about who she is.
Right. I think that it's because Kelrick says to her, well, I would call you naive, but you've got 300 years on me. And she says, 352.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't get the line that she said walking out the door from that meeting, where she said, my 12 to 6 is your 6 to 12.
Right.
And I kept watching the episode and I went back. He's sitting there stirring his tea. You go to the 6 o'clock position, then to the 12 o'clock position. So she's saying, you're going to do this and I'm going to do that instead. You're going to try to stir things up this way and I'm going to take this other road and do it this other way.
Yeah. Cause he's like, oh, screw that. I'm just going to stir it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the other thing I liked, I thought was interesting after it started, the first prank where they unexpectedly beamed them all out of the locker room.
Mm-hmm. And Cheerios is still a thing in the 32nd century. Good to know.
Well, you can probably replicate everything to Airheads to Ninja Turtle cereal. I don't know. But anyway, I like that first prank. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Although apparently it paled comparison to Ake's, where they beamed the first year cadets over to Alcatraz. I have questions about Alcatraz looking like Alcatraz in the 32nd century, because as far as I remember, it's not maintained in a way like it's not meant to not crumble. Like they're not doing repair work to it, if I recall correctly. So it's slowly falling to pieces. But apparently it lasts to the 32nd century, or they changed their mind and said, "Oh, let's keep that. Sure, we'll have that there."
Well, she is a couple hundred years old. It could have been in the 27th century.
Oh, but they show it in a shot across the bay in this episode. So
actually, I got my timelines mixed up, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't think the Alcatraz was going to be there because it got destroyed in Star Trek."
Right,
Beyond
Into Darkness.
Into Darkness to me, yeah. So I was like, "Wait, it's there." Oh, wait a minute, that's wrong. Wrong time frame.
All right, so let's give our ratings. What do we want to give it on Calica Games?
Yes, why not?
Okay, so let's start with you, Craig.
Actually, I think I liked this episode a little bit more than I thought I was going to. When I saw pranks, I went, "Oh, it's going to be." They didn't get too adolescent with it, like they could have, and because there was actually some thought from Aki, behind why it's okay to do this. So I'm gonna give this probably. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay, all right. I should have defaulted to having our guest go first. So Joe, you go next.
I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. I'm gonna go with a 7.
Okay. I like the fact that at the end of this episode, we actually did have things that happened. Yes, it was a bit Ocean's 11. Yes, it was a bit, college pranks, but we got character growth out of it, which is what you want, right? That's you true. Want an episode to have character growth. And we don't know much about these people yet. And what I was afraid of is we're just going to rush right into action and have to wait a long time for that. Right. So I like the fact that this is our third episode where we're learning about who they are before things may get a bit hectic. And I also like the fact that there was a method to what Ake was doing, which was to try to teach the students to think for themselves, give them a little push in the right direction, but to think for themselves and to work together, and that worked out to be a thing. And And there's a bit of romance in there too, but we still know what's going on, all that stuff
Yeah.
with Tarima. So we'll find that out later. So I'm going to give this one, I'm going to go, I think I'll go a 7.5 as well on that one. I had fun with the episode. So I think having fun with the episode to begin with was a bonus. Plus, you did have character growth in it.
Yes. Yeah, which is important, as you said.
Absolutely.
It also kind of gave us more of an idea of what kind of show this is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because episode 1 and 2 were very kind of different episodes from each other. So I feel like the tone was finally starting to set in. Like, this is what you can kind of expect week to week.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, as we know, traditionally, Star Trek series have a bit of an uphill battle in their first season to get themselves going, to get all the groundwork laid, and to be quite honest, for the writers
Get comfortable.
to be hearing the actors saying some of these things and being able to react to that and try to adapt with their writing to fit how this character is behaving and, get all those pieces moving together. So
Mhm.
I think we're still in that stage, but you're getting stuff happening anyway, which is good. Absolutely. All right. So those are our ratings on that. Pretty decent ratings, I would say, for a hijinks episode with a
Yeah.
shenanigans and the shenanigan. Shenanigan.
Yeah, just like that episode of Jeffersons when I'm saying.
It's the topic is sitcoms.
Wait a minute.
Okay. So we're going to go on
There you
yes. We're going to go on a little away mission. Not much, but can we have an appropriate sound effect for a little away mission?
There you go.
Okay. I don't know, Joe. Have you had a chance to watch Star Trek Scouts?
I have, and I watched the newer ones with the holodeck adventures this
Mhm.
morning
Yes.
because you mentioned we were going to be talking about them. Let me ask you. I don't know if you guys talked about this on the show previously. I listen to every show, but I also have a really lousy memory. Have you heard the online fan theory regarding JR on this show?
No, I have not.
The I guess main kid in Scouts, JR. Some people have noticed his hair color
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that John Ransom's initials are JR, and have speculated if that
Oh.
this is him as a child.
I see.
Let's go with that.
Well, he does have a big head, so that certainly would work.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
But the reason I wanted to talk about it now is I said we would talk about it at the end of the season, and it's really just about halfway through the first season. And the first 10 episodes were all asteroids. Every single
Yeah.
time it was an asteroid of a different asteroid, giant meatball asteroid, a giant bar of
very
soap asteroid.
It's very formulaic,
Yes, absolutely. You would
very
have
much.
now we're going to shoot something at it and we'll spin the wheel and see which thing is
Yeah.
going to shoot at it. And it's like, yeah, I think I'll shoot a rubber duck at it because that is going to, oh, I'm sorry. It's a Romulan rubber ducky that they're going to shoot
Right.
at it. And it's the show. I like to say that my wife, Bonnie, said, what the hell was that? So
if I had a dime for every time my wife said that to me.
yeah, well, and so I said, well, you don't have to watch any more of them. I'll watch them, but you don't have to watch
Right.
them. And episode 8, another asteroid, episode 9. So is this all the show is? Is this
Yeah.
literally? And what they did when they finished the first 10 episodes, they then switched it over to episodes where they're in the holodeck and they have different holodeck scenarios. Now, it's still a bit formulaic in that they're trying to rescue a baby
Something or
Gormagander
other,
or
yeah.
baby this or baby that, but sometimes it's in space. It's near a black hole. It's on a planet near a volcano. They're using the phaser, or they're using the tractor beam. They're using their spaceship actually to be going around in space in. They do talk now. They're a bit fast and loose with the tech and the science of it all, but given where we're coming from with the asteroids, this was leaps and bounds. Now, again, it's still just for preschool. It's not like you're going to have intricate storylines.
No, but these had a little story to them.
Right.
Yeah. Rather than, oh, there's an asteroid. Oh, this cat lady stole a shield producing animal, whatever it was. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I was like, oh, we actually got a little bit of a story going on here.
Yeah. So I was very encouraged for the kids who were watching that. I don't know how repetitious an audience, because there's a very young audience where repetition means nothing. They've
Right.
forgotten it after it's over and they want to watch it again. And it's all new to them the second time they watch it. And the third,
It's just
and the
like
fourth,
Joe was talking about. He didn't remember our old episode where we had talked about this.
Exactly. Well, when we talked about the initial time, I think they'd only aired the first two.
Mhm.
So I think at that point I was saying, well, as long as they're not all asteroids and then cue 8 more weeks of asteroids.
Yeah.
What drove me crazy was my wife and I were watching the first couple, the asteroid episodes when they first aired. And we said, I understand making a show like this for little kids because Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, if you ever watched that,
Mhm.
used to do the, like, what tool do we need to do the job type of lesson too. But the tools they were using didn't make sense. Like, it's not like you were actually learning something because it was pure nonsense.
Right.
Yeah,
And this
yeah.
is like, well, I'll know that a hammer won't stop, I don't know. I forget which asteroid it was that they were shooting. It's like, well, that's not going to do anything. And it didn't.
Fire all candy canes.
Yeah. So this one is a bit more based in, we're actually going to do something that requires us to use Star Trek related technology to get something done. And I was very encouraged. So I did have in my predictions that Star Trek Scouts would slowly disappear at the end of its 20 episode run. I don't know if that's going to be the case now. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's for preschoolers, right? It's hard to tell what lands and what doesn't. But it was, I feel like it's a much better fit with Star Trek as well, that you're using, like, Star Trek doesn't use a telescope that beams things to an asteroid, but they do use spaceships and, tractor beams and so forth.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, this is obviously not our demographic, and we're very removed from this age group. But I would say I'm not hating it. It's all right.
I love that it exists. Like, I just love that this exists because I do think I don't see this lasting long.
Right.
And 20 to 30 years from now, this is going to be that weird little Star Trek project that if you like, I hope they put out merch. I want to get some merch for this show because this is that thing that you're going to be like, hey, this is going to be our Star Wars holiday special for Star Trek.
Well, let's face it, the way the characters are built, they're halfway to Funko Pop already. So, they're they're on the way there.
I'm all ready to go to the grocery store and see the Star Trek Scouts cereal.
With real triples.
I need a T-shirt with the 3 of them on it, like jumping into action.
Yeah,
by Dragon Con.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's also interesting. I went to the Wikipedia page for Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not listed there. Everything else is listed there, including very short treks, not Star Trek Scouts.
Even our very favorite short treks.
Yes, even our very, very favorite, very, very short trek. Yes, we shall not speak of it again. All right, so that was our little side mission. So we're going to come back from that with an appropriate sound effect.
Oh yeah, let's see. Let's go with.
Warning, warp core breach a lot sooner than you think.
Oh.
Ooh, that sounds serious. And we're going to head out for our subspace chatter. But in order to do subspace chatter, as you know, Joe, we have to check in with Charlie. And we don't know if we're going to get Charlie X, who is bad, or Mirror Universe Charlie, who ironically is, or I guess appropriately, is a nice guy. So let us find out. So, Charlie, is it okay to go ahead with subspace chatter?
Sure thing, friend. I love subspace chatter. Let's get going.
All right.
I swear it
Please.
looks like he just ate some chocolate ice
No,
cream or
don't-
something.
don't. You keep hurting. He's gonna get mad
Oh.
eventually if you just keep doing that.
Oh, I got to
Joe.
quit saying my thoughts out loud.
He can read them anyway, so just be really careful.
Yeah.
All right, so we have no graphics for this. We're just gonna go right into the first story. So, Craig, tell us what's up.
All right. So William Shatner is set to star in a humorous Super Bowl XL or LX, excuse me, not XL, LX commercial for Kellogg's Raisin Bran, which was recently teased through viral leaked photos of the 94-year-old eating cereal while driving. Shatner confirmed that the staged paparazzi shots showing him munching on the flakes at a stoplight are part of a larger marketing campaign that will eventually feature him on a spaceship themed set, a playful nod to his Star Trek legacy. Not the Star Trek Legacy show we
I was gonna
wanted.
say, hey, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, the ad aims to make everyday activities feel epic and relatable. Epic and relatable. Okay.
Yeah.
Marking Raisin Bran their first ever Super Bowl appearance when the game airs on February 8th, 2026.
All right.
Hey,
And
By the
yes.
way, I don't know how many of y'all thought about this when I first saw that picture of him eating a bowl of cereal in the car. I was thinking, I would never do that. You know, you slam on the brakes and then it's just
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think that's the only problem with doing that, but that certainly is a problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't. If you look across and somebody's sitting there with a bowl of cereal in their hand and a little container of the milk pouring on top of it, get away from them as quickly as you can. That's all I
Yeah.
have to say.
it's like people on cruise control reading a book.
Yes. All right. Well, we have good news and a bad news situation when it comes to awards nominations for Star Trek.
All right.
So I'm going to start with the bad news. Star Trek Section 31 has earned the dubious distinction of being nominated for 5 Razzie Awards.
Ooh.
For those not in the know, the Razzies, or Golden Raspberry Awards, were created to offer a counter opinion to mainstream critics by mocking the worst movies of the year with a $4.97 gold spray painted statuette. It is absolutely lovely. In the worst picture category, Star Trek 31 is up against The Electric State. That's the one where the
Chris Pratt.
Mr. Peanut is a robot.
Yeah.
Hurry Up Tomorrow, Disney's Snow White, and War of the Worlds. And that's the 2025 one, the one starring Ice Cube, where Ice Cube is just sitting in a room for the entire movie. It's
Yeah. He's on a Zoom call.
yeah. For Worst Actress, Michelle Yeoh has been nominated. Ouch. She will be competing against Ariana DeBois for Love Hurts, Milia Jovovich
Jovovich.
for The Lost Lands, Natalie Portman for Fountains of Youth, and Rebel Wilson for Bride Hard.
Wow.
Section 31's Casey Rawle, who portrays Rachel Garrett, was nominated as Worst Supporting Actress, while Olatunde Osunsanmi was nominated for Worst Director, and Craig Sweeney with the story by Boyan Kim and Erica Lippold picked up a nomination in the Worst Screenplay category. So I know we weren't kind to Section 31, but man, the Razzies are all over this one. It's
So actually, all of those actresses' names, it feels like they shouldn't be. I mean, not because of this project. I'm just saying these are like good
Yes.
actresses.
yes,
Well,
yes.
Well,
It is
Michelle
not-
Yeoh just won an Oscar last year.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie Portman's got Oscars. I hate the raspberries. Like I hate them because, first of all, with the possible exception of War of the Worlds, none of these are really the worst. Like if you, there's the worst movies are the ones you don't talk about, like the
Yes.
ones you've never heard of. Like, and I'll tell you the truth, one of these movies is actually on my list of the top 10 best films of the year, and that's Snow White. So
Okay, I hadn't seen Hurry Up Tomorrow. I'd seen everything else on this list. I found Snow White just to be boring. I didn't find it to be anything other than I wasn't offended. I was just bored. I mean,
Mhm.
it didn't land with me. It landed with you, Joe. I didn't hate it. I just said I'm just kind of bored with it. I watched the entire thing, just in case something was gonna,
It's a big twist.
yeah. But it was
I think-
there.
I
and
think
watched it.
the selling point with that movie for the biggest selling point for me was the music. The songwriters, it's the same songwriters that did The Greatest Showman.
Mhm.
And I thought the new songs written especially for this movie, I thought they were Oscar worthy. I was actually surprised, if nothing else, it didn't get a Best Original Song nomination at the Oscars.
So what you're saying is you want Hugh Jackman to be one of the elves, the dwarves?
Sure,
Yeah.
bring it on.
All right, that's good. All right, I'll go with that. But you've got a counter to this bad stuff that you can talk about, Joe.
Yes.
Ooh, go ahead.
Now for the good news. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has picked up four prestigious nominations in the 53rd Annual Saturn Awards. For Best Science Fiction Television Series, Strange New Worlds is facing stiff competition from Andor, The Ark, Foundation, Severance, and Silo. In the acting categories, Christina Chong, who plays Lan Noonien Singh, is nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Television Series, and her competition includes Denise Goff from Andor, or as I like to call it, Ann Bohr.
What?
Julianne
Everybody's
Nicholson. And Snore, maybe. Julianne Nicholson for Paradise. Jennifer Holland for Peacemaker. Love that show. Genevieve O'Reilly for Andor. Uma Thurman for Dexter Resurrection. That was a good show. And Carolina Wydra for Pluribus. Ethan Peck.
What?
Excuse me. Ethan Peck received a nomination for Best Supporting Actor in a Television Series, and Paul Wesley, who portrays James T. Kirk, is nominated for Best Guest Star in a Television Series. The 53rd Annual Saturn Awards will be presented live on Sunday, March 8th. Ethan Peck,
Yes.
I believe he was a character in one of those short treks.
I see. I'm laughing about, I think Craig may be laughing at the same thing about James T. Kirk being a guest on Strange New Worlds.
He was a often guest. If I don't, yeah. Oh, you're still here?
Yeah.
It's like he's been here long enough. He's got his own quarters.
I'm waiting for an episode where he's just taking measurements of the chair.
Don't mind me.
Just butt grooving the captain's chair doesn't feel right.
Okay, Craig, take it away.
All right. So the January 2026 Trek Core merchandise roundup highlights a diverse array of licensed products kicking off the franchise's 60th anniversary year. Key items include high-end Klingon communicator replica from Factory Entertainment and the launch of the Starship Library model series of master replicas. The roundup also previews the upcoming Starfleet Academy comic tie-in and from IDW, new literature such as Star Trek Scouts Adventures. Okay,
There you go. There's some merch.
yeah, and various collectibles ranging from Fanhome's USS Archer and the USS Harlan starships to the latest soundtrack release of the Starfleet Academy series. Oh, I didn't know there was a soundtrack for that.
Oh yeah, it's out on Spotify if you want to check it out there.
I will, because sometimes I love the soundtrack to Undiscovered Country, and sometimes I'll play that, and it's fantastic.
I was right when I was they had that all day long video of the building of the
Oh,
Starfleet
the time
Academy,
lapse?
the time lapse of it being built, and there was music playing, and I said, I bet you this is the incidental / background music for the series. And yeah, it's the same thing that's in the soundtrack recording. So
I could give it a
that's-
shot. I did, like I said, I do like the undiscovered country music. And actually, the first time I think I've talked about this before. I was I'm trying to remember what game it was. Anyway,
Game of Thrones. No.
Yeah, no, it was a video game, and if it had a CD in the drive, it would play the music while you're playing the game.
Mhm.
And so it was perfect. The little cut scene where you finish the level and it just shows like where you've been, while it's showing your score. It would skip to the right track, and it was like the music was perfect for that. It was like Quake. I think it was one of the Quake games. Yeah. So I really fell in love with the Undiscovered Country soundtrack from that.
Now, was it Quisp or Quake? That's what I want to know. That's
Quisp.
that's another story together.
That's another cereal. Remember that?
I remember the comic. I mean, the cartoon.
They
Yeah.
they had a rivalry, right?
Yeah.
Quisping.
Yeah, they had a rivalry, but they were just the two aliens on. Was it Rocky and Bullwinkle? I believe that they were the two aliens, Quisp and Quake.
Hey, Rocky. Oh.
Well, according to reports from various online sources, Starfleet Academy is currently facing an aggressive review bombing campaign. While professional critics have given the show a fresh rating of around 85 to 86% on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score has been hammered down to the 35 to 43% range. But is this online vitriol actually hurting the show's performance? This is where things get tricky, as we have two very different narratives emerging regarding the ratings. Using data from Luminate, industry analyst Ted Leinhart reported that Starfleet Academy is performing well ahead of other recent Trek shows. The show reportedly pulled in 2.1 million viewers for the first 8 days. Leinhart's analysis suggests that the Academy premiere is tracking 60% higher than the third seasons of both Star Trek Picard and Strange New Worlds. However, not everyone agrees with that math. For instance, the Tachyon Pulse podcast, sorry, I don't like that guy, broke down the numbers into minutes watched, the metric preferred by Nielsen. They estimate Academy generated a maximum of 289 million minutes for its double premiere, which falls significantly short of the 471 million minutes Strange New Worlds Season 3 pulled in. We may have a better idea when Nielsen ratings are published in mid-February.
There was one odd little metric. It was that how many people tuned in to see Caleb's guns.
Yes, well, maybe Nielsen keeps track of that. I'm not sure. We'll have to see when those come out.
Nielsen's like, all right, pencil that one in.
Okay.
I will say there is one easily debunked story going around about the viewership.
Okay.
And it's made Fox News. Like, it's even been on Fox News. But a rather unscrupulous YouTuber decided to run a live stream of his Spock action figure sitting in a chair.
Yes.
And it got more views than the YouTube live premiere of Starfleet Academy. And sources like Fox News have been boosting this up. Hey, look, nobody's interested. Except, who's watching Star Trek on YouTube? I mean, sure, it's there to kind of generate interest from viewers who don't already have Paramount Plus. But that's not a real metric, because you're talking about a YouTuber who has an established fan base that watches him on YouTube. They know him as, to watch this guy, we go to YouTube, versus a show that most people go to Paramount Plus or other streamers, like some people get their Paramount Plus through Amazon. So that metric is very, very easily debunked.
Right, because I think I'm speaking without doing my fact checking, but I think that it was number one on Paramount Plus on Amazon on its premiere. So yeah. Definitely is a difference there. Absolutely. All right, and now Another chapter in our latest drama, Battle of the Water Towers. That's
We've gone
right.
from the mountain to the
Yep.
water or towers. All right.
The continuing story of Paramount's bid to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery.
It looks like somebody's shooting a money gun at the other water tower.
Yep, just pour that money there.
It'd be funny
Yeah.
if the door was open and the Warner
Right.
Brothers and
Yeah.
Dot were in there collecting the the
Hello,
Yeah.
cash. Yes.
Yeah. Hello, Cash.
In our previous update, Warner Brothers accepted an $82.7 billion cash and stock bid from Netflix, despite Paramount's higher $108.7 billion hostile offer. Drat, screamed Paramount head honcho David Ellison, or so we imagine that's what happened.
Yeah.
Then Paramount set about the task of stepping up their attempts at a hostile takeover. As our scene opens, Netflix has just officially revised its $82.7 billion bid to be an all-cash offer. But why? Aha! By removing their own stock from the equation, Netflix has effectively neutralized Paramount's main argument that their all-cash deal was a safer for shareholders. Curses! Howled David Ellison. We, again, imagine that's what he said.
As he twists his little mustache.
Yes. As of January 22nd, Warner Brothers Discovery disclosed that only 7% of shareholders have tendered their shares to Paramount's higher $108 billion offer. In response, Paramount has been forced to extend its tender deadline to February 20th while filling a preliminary proxy to start a fight for control of the Warner Brothers board. Oh my God, when will these people stop so I can stop doing this? Anyway, with a shareholder vote on the Netflix merger tentatively eyed for April, Paramount has less than a month to convince investors that their maths add up. So it really doesn't look good for Paramount in this one. And I don't think they're going to go any higher than they've already gone.
That's a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, I feel like this gets into that territory. We had the battle for Fox and Comcast. I feel at some point just drove up the numbers to make Disney pay a lot for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think they both need to stop. And just okay. I'm not really a big fan of Netflix getting it, to be honest, because I feel like they're not interested in half of what Warner Brothers is, and that's to the detriment of movies.
Mhm.
But I just don't think Paramount is in a position. I mean, they're just off of a merger, and they really have just got to get their act together about what they're doing themselves. Get all the ducks in a row, and then talk about acquisitions at that point.
Exactly.
They're making moves that don't make a whole lot of sense. Paramount, I don't watch the show myself, but I know it's got quite a following. Avatar: The Last Airbender. There was supposed to be an Avatar: The Last Airbender movie coming out to the big screen, and it was, from what I understand, tracking fairly well. And Paramount just pulled it and decided this is going to go right to Paramount Plus. So it's like questionable decisions like that. You're like, well, why are you doing that? Like, what? Like, for why? I don't know.
Well, they did that with Section 31 too. It was like,
but
not
that was
the-
always supposed to go to.
I know, right. I understand that, but I mean, they spent all that money, got Michelle Yeoh and everything, made this movie and put it on Paramount Plus only, which, even Strange New Worlds, putting it behind a paywall, I think eliminates a lot of the people that would see it. Cause how many times have you, I say incidentally, seen Star Trek just because you had to sat down and it just happened to be on, not necessarily going looking for a streamer to stream it,
Right.
A lot of people see it just because, it was on TV. And,
Well, I was watching Larry Nemechek on his Tuesday live show, and he had on another person from the Roddenberry Network, whose name is escaping me at the moment, but he was talking about the fact that he had on a Star Trek, I think it was a Star Trek 6, Star Trek 6, was it Star Trek 6 or Star Trek 4? Maybe Star Trek 4, the Voyage Home
Yes.
jacket, but he had a Star Trek movie jacket on, right? And people came up and they were talking about Star Trek, blah, blah, blah. And this was fairly recently. And he said, oh, so are you watching any of the new shows that are on? But they had zero idea that Star Trek had come back.
Right.
Zero. It wasn't like they didn't know all the shows. No, they knew none. And they were clearly people that had watched Star Trek.
Hey,
so
I could say the same thing. There was a friend that I used to ride the commuter bus to Charlotte to go to work, and he reached out and says, oh man, I saw I forget what he said he watched, and I said, oh, you should check out Star Trek Picard. And I said, especially season 3, and he binged the whole thing. He says, oh man, when I got to season 3, it was great. I had no idea. I was like, well, wait till you see Strange New Worlds, or any of that stuff. They had no idea a lot of that the newer Trek was even there.
It's difficult though, because to put it on television, you really need the right home for it. Like I would not want these shows on CBS. If these shows were on CBS, they would get canceled immediately, because CBS has a niche audience. They have people who like watching crime procedurals, which are much cheaper to make.
You just put Sheldon in it. It'll be fine. That's all you
Young
gotta do.
Sheldon.
But I'd rather Star Trek be the big fish in a small pond where it's valuable than losing in the ratings to a reality show like Survivor, where they're like, why are we paying the money for this? Like,
No, I agree. I mean, and right now the Taylor Sheridan shows are dwarfing, Star Trek in the numbers on Paramount. It's like 16 million viewership for that versus the 2.1 million for Star Trek. But Star Trek was there to start off with and kind of kicked off the network and got the initial round of people in. And you still have to keep those people. And those people aren't necessarily somebody who's going to want to watch Ultimate Fight Club or, the latest, Taylor Sheridan thing. So I'm hoping that it's hanging around, for quite a while.
And once the current Taylor Sheridan shows are done, that's that, because he signed a contract with someone else. He's not going to be working with Paramount going forward.
Yep. They didn't even make him an offer. So go figure.
They had to save their money for Warner Brothers.
No, make them an offer. By the way, you talked about canceling stuff. I said, well, then clearly if Paramount is doing that stuff, canceling things, they're right up Warner Brothers alley, so,
yeah.
But let's not get into all that. Craig,
right.
You've got the last story here.
I get the last story. Okay. So IDW Entertainment is launching a new 5-issue limited comic series called Starfleet Academy Lost Contact, a 32nd century tie-in to the upcoming or current Paramount Plus live action show, written by Lane Morgan, and art is by Coralie Espuna and Nora Siriano. The story follows up on a group of diverse cadets: Caleb, Genesis, Jaden, Kyle, and Tamira.
Kyle.
What?
And Tamira. So
Lieutenant Kyle.
Are they both moving over from the War College?
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe. They find themselves stranded on a low oxygen planet during a routine survey simulation after a storm severs their communication with the USS Athena. Faced with the appearance of an impossible alien, the cadets must navigate interpersonal drama, and teen soap angst. This doesn't sound like. I'm not sure about this. While applying their first contact training to survive. The first issue is set to hit shelves on April 15th, 2026, offering fans a deeper look into the new cast and setting during the 60th anniversary year of the franchise.
Yes. Well, I mean, like I said, it's always good to have stuff that's tied into the 60th anniversary. I'm not quite sure what the tie-in is with Starfleet Academy, although they talk about an impossible alien. So maybe that's an alien we've seen before. That how can that be here?
That would be possible.
Well, I mean, it's an impossible alien. It's blank pages, because it's impossible to do that. So it's not there. It's just not there.
Impossible.
All right. So those are all the stories we're covering. However, there are 77 additional stories we did not get a chance to talk about. What a surprise. A lot of them are about Star Trek Starfleet Academy. So we've got lots of interviews with actors and producers and reviews and behind the scenes stuff, all sorts of things in there. So you want to go to the show notes for episode 195, Debate and Switch.
Yeah.
And you can, over at the topic is Trek.
Oh, wait. There you go.
.com, and you
Shooting.
can check all of those out. All right. Yeah, it really kind of dwarfed everything else this time around. So, but that's not surprising because it's the
all
new
new.
thing.
Yep.
Okay, so now it's, this is I have mixed feelings, like I said, about this one because we just had on, we had Nice Charlie on here, but even though we had Nice Charlie, it's time to say goodbye. So goodbye, Charlie.
Thanks for having me along. It was fun. But now my Phasian step-parents are calling, so I gotta go!
Go and shave. shave.
Oh, you're admitting it actually is a beard then.
Yeah, well. Well, he was down the corridor a little bit, so it kind of looked like it.
Oh, okay, I understand. All right, time to head out on main mission part 2 with an appropriate sound effect. Okay.
There you go.
Sure. We'll go with that. So, Joe, do you want to give us the background on this main mission part 2?
Yes.
So please give us this, Carmichael.
All right. This is Starfleet Academy episode 4, season 1, episode 4. Vox in Exilo. I pronounced that correctly. Written by Gaia Violo and Eric Anthony Glover. Directed by Doug Aronofsky.
Hey, I think Stan Lee came up with this title.
No.
When an existential crisis threatens to wipe out a beloved but infamous Star Trek species, a cadet is forced to confront his past and strained relationship with his family as he pursues an unexpected method of coping. Nala races against time to save this species from extinction.
Okay. So when this episode started off, I have to admit that there's been a lot of buzz about this episode. So I just had a feeling it wasn't going to carry through the way it starts off. Because you're thinking, oh, they're going to have a debate. All right, that's cool and all.
Right.
Oh, and there's some issues with stage fright, and we're gonna have to deal with stage fright and that type of stuff. But we take a right-hand turn pretty quickly in this whole thing, and it becomes pretty classic Star Trek, I think, at that point, because we find out that the existential crisis is the fact that the Klingon Empire really isn't much of an empire anymore. And some of the there's only 8 surviving houses and a spaceship with I think members of all of those 8 houses crashed. And they're not sure if they're dead or alive. And so the debate becomes about whether or not the Federation should be offering aid to the Klingons. And the twist is that the person arguing against it is our resident Vulcan.
Yeah.
Klingon.
What?
So
Klingon.
Jaden, yeah, Klingon. Sorry. So Jaden, yeah.
I like how we're like, yeah. Wait, no, it was a Klingon.
Yeah, no, yeah. Because I'm looking at the sheet here for a second, and I was landing on the Vulcan's face. So Jaden is taking up the position that the Federation shouldn't offer this aid. It's very off-putting. It's like, why would he feel that way? So the whole episode really becomes an exploration of Klingon culture. We get Jaden's backstory, and I know a lot about his family.
Yeah.
And how he ended up at the Academy, and it is a very well constructed episode, I thought. So I want to stop talking and let you guys talk about it for a bit.
Yeah. I like how Jaden, they see he's not somebody, or especially a Klingon, you wouldn't expect to have like stage fright or anxiety speaking, public speaking. But I was like, wow, this is a different view on Klingon, or a Klingon. So I kind of like that aspect where he had to kind of get over it, but he did with the help of
Well, Darren was helping him.
was it Darren?
Well, Darren was giving him the meditation.
Yeah. Actually, all right. There was a moment I was like, they're getting really close to each other. I was like, is this going where I think it's going? I'm not.
We've gone from high drama to wow.
Did anyone wait? Did anyone not think it was going there? But
I know. Well, he's holding hands, and then they get close in the face. I was like, what?
I was just confused about. I don't think I really thought that much, but I was trying to think. What agenda does he have about what he's doing? Like, what is all this got to do with, punch me in the face? This kind of, so I was just couldn't understand where he was going with what he was doing.
I think he was trying to get him to redirect his energies because
he was trying to get him to
focus,
to get angry. He wanted him to get angry and then have the words come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, to explain why he was angry, what was going on. And he sort of succeeds a little bit, but then Jaden shuts down again.
Mm-hmm.
It shuts down on Caleb. Caleb wants to partner with him, and he views it as an insult because, well, no one else is partnering up. You pitying me or something, and I can take care of myself. And so they're having a rift, and it's so you have the teen drama in there, but it's only part of what's going on in this episode, because you find out the backstory that Jaden's family lived. I forget what the name of the planet was that they were living on, but his brother understood that the way of a kill this thing warrior was not Jaden's way, and he encouraged him in that effort. He went to a trader's market and got a Star Trek signaling device that Stephen Colbert was very nice to narrate for Starfleet Academy, that was inviting people to apply, that it was open up, and he's saying, this is what you're supposed to be doing. But the rest of the family, that's forbidden tech, and it's Starfleet, and we, Klingons, because now at this point, and Nala does explain this ahead of time, that post-burn, the alliance that the Klingons and the Federation had splintered, and they were now no longer part of the Federation. And I didn't get the impression that they actively were targeting the Federation, but they certainly wanted nothing to do with the Federation.
Actually, what I kept coming back to is, remember the Klingons in Discovery, remain Klingon, trying to keep their identity. And there was also a mention of, well, if we don't have anything else, we have our traditions. The traditions,
right. General was General Wojcik who said, that's all we have left.
Yeah. So I see what they're trying to do is they're trying not to rely on everybody else and or dilute their beliefs and their core of who they are.
So at one point in the story, when Nala is speaking with the general, you see a light go off in her head, and the same light was going off in my head. And I don't know if the audience was meant to get to that point. I don't think they were, but he says, why do you always have to be combative? That's where I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, well, if they somehow had to battle for this planet, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
And that ends up being the solution that they come up with, which I found an interesting battle because it was full of spaceships and nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, no, I was like, that's the lamest space battle.
I had a slight issue with that though, because
Yes.
the Klingons had to know that Starfleet was throwing the fight.
Yes. Oh, they clearly knew that.
But
They clearly knew that.
I would think Klingon honor would not allow for that. Like I would think that their honor, that would not be an honorable victory to them.
Well, I think
Songs will be sung for this battle.
yeah, well, somewhat to that extent, Craig, because I had the feeling that yes, they knew. Certainly the general knew, because you could see as soon as, Kayla says, Nala says that we're going to, fight, he smiles. And she smiles back at him saying, "Oh, you understand now what I
Okay.
was." It's kind of like the
Wink,
opposite
wink.
of the last episode. You understand what I was saying to you now. Listen to what I'm saying. So it was a very ceremonial battle, that there had to be a battle, but
Mhm.
ultimately, to your point, Craig, I think that there will be songs sung about it, and it will kind of get lost in the details that it was not a real battle. It will be made into a real battle,
Yeah.
and that will be the origin story of how the Klingons came to live on the planet. So I think that they were all compromising a bit, but saving face at the same time,
It's like
which was the important thing.
it's like the stories where from about Kalish, he probably was just a kid in his parents' basement on the
Yeah.
computer all day long, and then they ended up blowing him up to some huge warrior who had the philosophy of 1,000, Chinese philosophers.
And the
So-
interesting thing about the planet is that what's it, Fawn Alpha
Mhm.
is inside Federation space, which I thought was interesting. So they are living within Federation. The Klingon home planet
yeah,
is
they-
within the
Apparently they've
Federation.
apparently they've dwindled down or spread out so far. That's all they got. I mean, actually, I know it's a little bit out of the parameters of Khan when they were looking for a Genesis planet to use this on. They were like, "Oh, does that have to be completely lifeless?" It's like, "Oh, here's a planet with no life on it." They just happened to find it 900 years late.
Well, I don't think it had no life on it. I mean,
No,
there might have been a lot of life on it, just not necessarily intelligent life, but
Can we transplant it?
Something you can transplant.
Yeah.
something you can transplant. Yes.
Did anyone else think the plot of this, obviously the details were very different, but did anyone think the plot of this episode was very similar to The Undiscovered Country? The Klingons have a disaster and they need
Oh.
help, and
Mhm.
I don't know, not exactly, but like on
yeah.
a thematic level.
Well, yeah, I would say so. But after the Kitomar Accords,
Yeah, are
And
we
they-
pronouncing it like that now?
well, I thought about
Kitomar?
that because she didn't pronounce Sam did not pronounce it Kittimer,
That's what
But-
I thought too. Yeah, I was like, "What?" Yeah.
but I thought about that going. If you're just looking at the word, and no one has said otherwise, and you don't happen,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you say it that way?
It is
My-
also 800 years later. The pronunciations could, dialects
Yeah.
change over time.
Oh, by the way,
think-
a very I just want to make this side point that has nothing to do
Mhm.
with, well, it has something to do with Star Trek, yet it doesn't. The agreement to not have any particular nation make claim to the moon, now that everybody's
Mhm.
traveling back to the moon, it's the Artemis Accords. And the guy that was working on this agreement, who came up with the name, said, "Oh, it is absolutely named after the Kittimer Accords. That's why it's called the Artemis Accords." So a little piece of Star Trek there for you.
Hey, when I heard that today, I thought my dad had a 1974 Kitomer.
Yeah, it was pretty good, except when you had to go uphill
Yeah.
or downhill. But other than that, it was pretty good. It was
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
yeah. So we also get to find out something that I thought was a nice surprise when Jaden is having the argument with his father that he won't shoot the arrow. He won't shoot the arrow to shoot the bird. And his father takes the bow and arrow away from him and shoots and misses and just storms off and just leaves. That Thok says that a Klingon does not miss because they are angry. They live for that. They channel that. He missed on purpose. And it was just like this big revelation. I thought, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was good.
Did not have that, that realization that, and I think that it was also good that we didn't see Jaden try to go to visit his parents because I think eventually he could, but I think that it'd have to be I think it has to be all about that and why that would have to happen.
Yeah.
That maybe there's an impending death in the family and he wants to go and they have to reluctantly agree or something. So, but I thought it was good to not do it right now. And I also thought it was nice that his father gifted him the bow that he refused to shoot before.
Yeah.
Which was a really nice touch as well.
Yeah. Also, I did like how they set up the Klingons in this time now, as opposed to previous, but even though they've obviously had hardships, now they got their own planet. But you also get to see that not all Klingons were the same. Remember, we talked about this before. Well, if they're so warlike all the time, who built their ships? Who makes their medicine if they have such a thing? And Jaden is one of those examples where he was even referred to as a Klingon healer, which is which you don't really hear much of. So he obviously more into science and stuff rather than being warlike.
That's something I've always loved when we see in Star Trek. And I'll take it all the way back to Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. When Star Trek V came out, I remember I heard people outraged that we had a Vulcan who rejected logic. That's no Vulcan would do that. And I always thought,
It could happen.
Why would every member of a species agree to something? Why would every member? Could you imagine if, like, tomorrow it came out, hey guys, we should all give up emotion and be logical? How many? Just look at when they told us to wear masks for.
I don't think some of us are capable of that, but
yeah,
okay.
it's like it's like you're never going to get people to agree. Like, so there's always going to be the outsider who says no, I reject that. And Sybok made sense to me, and like it's the same thing with the Klingons. When we see a Klingon like that who doesn't want to be a warrior, I mean, we kind of saw that with Alexander. It's great.
He was torn. Yeah, he was torn.
Yeah, and Nog. He wasn't your typical Frank. Like, I love seeing those characters who kind of push back on what we expect from that species.
Yeah, Nog ended up being one of my favorite characters off DS9.
Yeah,
just because of his arc. His arc was great.
Right, and even his father did acknowledge, that it's fine if you want to be a healer, but that's not going to save your life, in battle. But he even kind of acknowledged that, well, we do have, Klingons that do practice such things. And so, yeah, I thought it was good to have that. And I also thought it was good to see some Klingons in this episode. That was nice.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Yeah, we know that they're still around, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more of them at some point.
Oh, in all fairness, we did see them in Discovery.
Yes. But I mean here on this show to see it. And and maybe next time, Nala and the general will have some free time to be. Well, that's not.
Hey, we still haven't seen Tilly.
No, we haven't. We have not. And we are almost halfway through the season, which is a really freaky thing to say. I feel like we just started talking about the show and we're almost halfway through the first season.
I know.
Now my faulty memory, I can never remember these things. We didn't see the Klingons on Discovery post-burn. We saw them pre-burn, but we didn't see them post-burn on Discovery. Did they mention the fall of Kronos on Discovery? Because I did not remember that.
No, they actually went to Kronos.
Well, they
At
went,
one point.
but that was in the before they took the leap. They went there because that's how
Yeah, I guess a lot can happen in 900 years.
right, because Giorgio that's what she put the bomb in the center of the planet. So so you're saying, Joe, we didn't see any?
I mean, unless there was like a background Klingon, like part of the Emerald Gang or something. I mean, I don't remember us seeing in seasons 3, 4, and 5. I don't remember. I mean, we spent a lot of time with the Vulcans and how they became Nevar, but I don't remember us. Maybe it was said in passing that Kronos fell and the Klingons were kind of out on their own. But
when Praxis exploded, we know that they were the Khitomer Accords, but that
Khitomer.
Khitomer Accords or Mugatu. So we don't really know from that though. Was Klingon staying on Kronos at that point, or were they having to evacuate that planet because of the destruction of Praxis? I was unclear. Well, it was their main mining facility,
right?
So I don't know if that was the beginning of their.
Well, the way Spock described it in Star Trek VI, he said they could no longer afford, the conflict with the Federation. Yeah. So I think with their energy depleted, they just had to put their resources elsewhere. Like, I don't think they ever abandoned Kronos.
No, I got the impression, or I've always thought in my headcanon was they depleted a lot of the natural resources on Kronos, and they were working on a Praxis, trying to extract minerals from there because they didn't have it.
I see. So in other words, at that point, the planet, their home planet, was so mined and so just depleted that they had to go someplace, bring those things back. And when those things were gone as well, then they probably maybe did have to, that's great, had to leave and find another place to live.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's a valid theory about it. Okay.
There you go. Where's my check?
Done and done. Okay, so we are going to rate this one.
Klingon bows.
Before we rate it,
you go ahead. You go ahead.
I just want to throw two things. They're not episode specific, but
sure.
Jaden Cragg. Is this the first time in the franchise we've had a Klingon with a last name?
Well, Worf had a last name,
I
right?
thought Worf had one, didn't he?
Well, he was Worf, son of Moog, or Worf of the House of Marta, but like he didn't.
I thought he took his Earth parents' last name as a last name.
I think growing up, he had
Worf Rozhenko.
But I mean, we've never met like I don't think we've ever had a Klingon who was born on Kronos and part of the Klingon Empire who's had a last name before.
Right, because it would be, to your point, it would be House of. And I think didn't
now Worf's real name was Michael Dorn.
Yes, well, that's another story altogether. When the wife is calling everyone to dinner, did she say House of Crag? I can't remember.
Triad.
No, but she's calling everybody to dinner. It's like this overhead shot of their camp.
Oh.
And I can't remember if she just, I can't remember what she said. So I don't know if she said House of Crag.
Yeah, maybe he adopted. Maybe that was the house name, and he adopted it when he entered Starfleet.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
And
was part of a Ellis Island type of thing. It's like you have to have a last name. Okay.
There's a lady helping him sign the forms. Look, everybody's got a last name. Just make one up.
my other thing is the Doctor.
Yes.
This is 800 years after Voyager.
Yes.
Mhm.
He spent 7 years on Voyager trying to find a name. That was one of his big things. What's my name going to be? I need a name.
Gave up.
800 years. This guy hasn't settled on a name yet.
Well, I think at
Doctor.
this point his name is the Doctor.
Yeah.
I
I
think
don't
that
know.
is.
I know a certain Time Lord that's going to be like, hey, I had that first.
Well, you know what? That Time Lord has to show up
Yeah.
someplace and make that case.
That's
So
right.
Maybe-
until that happens,
Maybe that's the connection. Maybe he is the Doctor, and
Ooh.
we're going to
would be
see.
funny. That would be funny if a TARDIS shows up and come out and they have this. I'm the Doctor. No, I'm the Doctor. Kind of who's on first thing.
But what if we don't know who the next Doctor on Doctor Who's going to be because we haven't.
No.
It hasn't been revealed yet. What if they regenerate into Robert Picard?
Oh, my head's starting to hurt.
Oh, I'm getting hurty brain just thinking about it.
All right, now we will get on to voting. What do we want to vote? What?
The Klingon bows.
How about
Hang on.
Warrior Stew?
What'd you
What's
say?
Bowls of Warrior Stew.
Bowls of Warrior Stew. Okay, Bowls of Warrior Stew.
Spicy.
I'm gonna give this one. I really like this episode. I think I'm gonna give this one a 9 because
Hmm.
I really liked it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 9. 9 bowls of Warrior Stew.
I did see another review floating around, and they were saying this is one of the best Klingon episodes we've ever gotten in Star Trek. And I was like, I'm not disagreeing with that. I don't know.
We even
do you
got
think?
the actual long play of the motion picture Star Trek Klingons theme in there.
I love that theme too.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Joe, I'm gonna let you go first before me.
I'm also going to give it a 9. I think this is the best episode so far. And I'm really enjoying this series. I don't think they've had a dud yet. The closest to a dud, I would say, is episode 2, and I didn't hate that. But yeah, no, this one was great. I'm 9, definitely.
I think we all agree. 9. I'll go with 9.
All right, cool. Excellent. Yeah. And I hear that episode 5 is supposed to be a really good episode as well from those who have watched it. One person said they had some issues with it that, I didn't want to get into what those issues might be because that would be kind of spoilery. for you
Spoiler
watching it,
alert. Spoiler alert.
But even so, they didn't not like it. They just had some issues with it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, quite honestly.
Is that I don't know any spoilers, but I have heard, I think it was episode 5. Is episode 5 the one that's supposed to tie into Deep Space Nine in some way?
I can't remember if that's 5 or 6.
Hmm.
I know one of that because Tawny was a writer on that episode, and I can't remember if it's 5 or 6.
Hmm.
So we'll find out next week if it's not that one. Next week is going to be the week after.
Spoiler alert.
Yes,
Spoiler alert.
well, they talked about that. I mean, she loves to talk. I mean, Tawny is kind of like, don't give her too many secrets because she likes to talk. She's
Yeah.
a Jonathan Frakes of Lower Decks.
We need an episode where we find out that when Mariner and Boimler went back through the Guardian of Forever to get back to their own time, they screwed up and ended up in the future briefly. And get them on here.
Yeah.
There was
Another live action.
another stop along the way we didn't know about.
And then the Doctor can say, "Yes, I remember you," because he makes reference to the Lower Decks crew in Prodigy.
Mm-hmm.
So he had some run-in with them at some point or other. All right. So that said, it's time to refill the dilithium chamber and try to warp on out of here. I do not have a slide specifically for what you're up to, Joe, but what do you want to promote?
Well, I've been trying to put more effort into my Crazy Joe Adventures YouTube channel, which kind of was dormant for about a year, but I'm back at it again. Unfortunately, we've been pounded with snow and ice, which has made it difficult to get out and make new videos, but I got some doozies on the way. So if you want to come over, subscribe to Crazy Joe Adventures. I think we got some fun stuff coming.
Excellent.
You
Excellent.
should go and interview your neighbors and look at their toys. See what they got.
Maybe just knock on random
Yeah.
doors.
Hey,
Got any toys?
you know
What do
me?
you-
I'm
what do you
Crazy
got?
Joe.
What do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Open up. Let me. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
Yeah.
All right. And you can find me, Clinton, at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4. I have a new episode out to the patrons, and that episode will be going out to everybody. I might wait until Monday on it to release it to everyone else, but that's another advantage of obviously being a patron for
Yep.
Comedy Forecast. You get the episodes early. And I won't ask who speaks for you guys, Craig,
Yeah.
because I've got a feeling it's going to be Chuck. No, it's going to be
Yeah.
unless I could bring back Robot Chuck,
Yeah.
which I don't have Robot Chuck prepared.
That would have been awesome. Now you can find Chuck and I at chuckchat.com/technorama, where we talk about science, sci-fi, and everything geek. And we do it mostly weekly, but it's been kind of changing up because of vacations. But we were doing an episode this week. So you can catch us. You'll find us on YouTube or Facebook, and you'll see when we post a announcement we're going to do another episode. So come on up.
All right.
That
Excellent.
was the worst. That was the worst.
Yeah, you had like 2 weeks to prepare that, and that's what you came back with.
So Sunday nights, 8:30 Eastern is when we do our shows. Keep up on Facebook and YouTube, and you can find out when we are posting that or for some stuff.
All right. But let's hit the theme, boys. If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Blue Sky at The Topic is Trek. Visit our Facebook page or call us at 816-TREKKER. That's 816-873-5537. Trekker. Until next time, on behalf of the vacationing Chuck, Joe, Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek, don't
Put on the red shirt.
Typeface put on the red shirt. Jeez.
But if you're on Starfleet Academy, you could put on the red hoodie.
Ooh, yes. The
Want
red,
one of, want
the
one of
red
those.
Letterman's jackets.
Right. Man, don't put on that blonde hair. Look at that. That's
Hey, that's white hair. He died of old age or something.
oh, that's right. All right. Well, I guess we'll end the stream there. So thank you everybody that watched. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.